Hello and welcome everybody to episode 58 of the GrowCast show. Today with me, I have Elfin Ng, and she is the founder of stART Studio, and she does some great work with parents, with children as well. And she's going to tell you all about it today. But before that, I want to ask her the first question, which I ask every guest on the GrowCast show, which is, Elfin, what does being better than normal mean to you?
Better be normal. Because we are an art studio, so normally people think that art studio is to doing art. But then for me, better than normal would be not just only using art, but also to help children in their emotional well-being, to nurture the child's emotional well-being, making sure that they are confident, they are resilient. So that's what I feel is being better than normal.
Very nice. And Elfin, for you specifically, what makes you better than normal?
What makes me better than normal? I would think it is the way that I connect with the child, the way that I really listen to them, to build that rapport with the child. So that's what I felt it's been different.
Very nice. And I know you do some amazing work as well. I want to dive deeper into that. But first, let's talk about how many years of experience do you have in the education sector?
Okay, it's been long. I started actually with my own child shortly after she's born. So about 2007, I actually started my own enrichment school, doing brain development program. Then subsequently, I incorporated into a childcare, and then I had the childcare for about 13 years, and we actually gotten quite a lot of awards with the childcare. And after I sold the business, I was working as a principal with Kiddie Winky, with My Champs, and then I proceed to be a MOE kindergarten center head. So in all, 20 over years experience as a preschool educator.
Wow, that's amazing. So now that you've got all that experience, I'm sure you created something of your own. So how did you create the Growth Art Tech for Success program?
It was actually quite interesting. I was actually helping a friend on his son's behavioral issues. So I was not even thinking about doing growth art. I was just really wanting to help him to overcome the situation that they face at home and in school. So I go there to help him basically with his emotional well-being, helping him with anger management, helping with his self-control, self-management skills. So in the midst of it, right, when I was working with him, I needed to always come up with games to play with him, to engage him. And then when I go in there to help him in the program, and then after like 5 months, there's changes. So when I want to do the business that time, right, it come about of this art school. And then that's when I integrate my strength, all my strength actually put together. My strength with doing art, my strength helping with children in their child development, child psychology, my ability to connect with the child and connect with parents. And that's how the birth of Growth Art comes about.
Very nice. And what actually inspired you to launch stART Studio and integrate art with therapy?
Art is a very natural way to help to draw a child out, because art is like, the children will love doing art. And then when they do art, there's no barrier. There's no, they needed to make it right. So in that way, we're actually able to have that very natural way of able the child to draw out them. And then when I incorporated practical counseling, because that's also my skill, where I'm able to tap into the child inner feeling. So through the arts, right, sometimes I'm able to get them to draw, let's say a girl who draw the circles, ask them to draw circles. And from drawing the circles and having her to put in her favorite color, having her to describe what is her non-favorite color. But it is just a process. It's the process, part of the process where I'm able to see where the child's, where their confidence level is. What are they thinking? So it's also through the practical counseling that I'm able to draw the child, the sense what was actually her inner feeling. Like from outside, she might be looking like from the parents' point of view, she's not listening. But when I dive deeper in, it was actually siblings rivalry, sibling jealousy. So these are the things that is actually revealed through the art process. Yeah.
Maybe you could share with us a little bit more. How has your personal and professional background, right, influenced the philosophy behind stART Studio?
Right. When I put a program together, I actually have 3 broad areas that I wanted to hitch on. So one part was about the arts of parenting, because as an educator, we knew how important parenting is, but it's the art portion, because everything has art and science. So it's the art of parenting that on the nurturing, on being nurturing, on the being the kindness, the gentleness in nurturing a child. So that part itself, that's where I use a lot in my program. Then the other part of the philosophy was the growth mindset. This is where I wanted to help the child to overcome adversity with having a growth mindset, that overcoming, being strong, being resilient. And the third part of the program is actually the therapeutic art, because it's through the therapeutic art that we're able to draw the child, the inner feeling of the child. So I'm actually combining these three parts, whereby the art of parenting, the growth mindset, and the therapeutic art in putting the program together.
Very nice. And as the founder of Start Studio, right, how do you define success for your initiative and yourself?
Success. The success would be when I see a child change, when a child able to be confident, come out from the program confident, knowing that they can do it, come out from a program that, the joy and that the sustained change. And also being resilient. So I have like children who maybe they were discouraged because of their failing grades. And then after the program, they come up feeling like they can do it. I think this is the part that is most brought me most joy. I also happy when a child, where they were having so much of struggle in school before, and then once they learned, give them a lot of information, give them a lot of empowerment, that they have these skills to self-control and self-manage. Then after, when they're in school, they know that they won't get into trouble again. I think this is the part that is most give me most satisfaction, and I felt that is a success that I personally feel that I had in the program.
It's a very, very beautiful definition of success. And let's talk also a bit about the core values. So what core values are important to you when running Start Studio?
Empathy. Because it's through the empathy that I will listen to the child, listen to them, how they are really feeling. I have a child who actually, she keep getting into trouble at home and in school, right? And then when I listened to her, it was interesting. I actually had the coaching tool that I used. I asked her to pick up 2 cards. She instead picked up 40 cards. And from the 40 cards, she told me her life story. Imagine 7 years old, tell me her life story. But it is from there, because I was listening to her, I'm able to hear her, what was it that is actually bothering her. But she might not know that it was actually bothering her. She was just sharing her story. But it was insights that I gained. And then from there, I'm able to actually talk to her, share with her, and also with the parent and grandparent as well, that together we're able to help this child. Yeah, so empathy is one of the key values that I really value in. So the other part of the core values would be the growth mindset, which I really, really believe in. I personally feel that if I say we're able to empower the child, having them to understand that growth mindset is a very important skills to have, so that then they will see that, they can grow, not fixed onto their whatever circumstances they're in right now, that we can always grow, we can always change, we can always overcome. So that growth mindset is something that I really value, and I want to impart on the child. The third one will be the collaboration with parents. This is a very, very key important ingredient, because if I say a parent thinking like they leave the child with me and then I'm going to do magic, I can't. I needed the parent to be with me to be on the team with me, so that together we can help the child. So I personally feel like to have a success story or success case that we have, right, is when parents are on board with me. So the collaboration with parents are very, very important. Yeah.
Makes perfect sense as well. And for yourself, who are your role models or inspirations in the field of education and therapy?
Two person. The pioneers of growth mindset, Carol, which is how she actually come up with the idea of growth mindset. I thought that was really beautiful. The other person would be Maria Montessori. How she always look at the child, how the inner child, and then and working with the child where the child is at. So this is where I've the 2 key person who has influenced me the way I work with the children, the growth mindset, and then to begin where the child is at. Yeah.
Very nice. And for yourself, Elfin, how do you keep your growth art lessons engaging and exciting for children?
The way that we do in our art studio is very different. It's not like a big class where everybody paint the same thing. We don't do that way. Each child actually comes in, and then they base on their child's interests. So I will let them actually choose what they want to do. Be it they want to paint landscape, or they want to paint cartoons, or they want to paint animals, or they want to paint flowers. We actually allow the child on what they want to do. And then and also even on what canvas, be it they want to paint on canvas, or they might want to paint on t-shirt, or they might want to paint on the back, or they want to paint pebbles. So we actually allow this flexibility to engage the child. So based on the child's interest, We could also be based on their interest in the topic. They might be, from school, they learn about dinosaur. Then we might actually be painting with dinosaurs. Or they might, in schools, they want to learn about flowers. Then I might go into that area. So we really based on the child's interest first in engaging them. Yeah.
Very different from typical art studios,
Yes.
because I remember when I was younger, my mom and dad used to bring me, so we must follow what the art teacher is, what the art class is doing. So I think this personalized method is really amazing as
Yeah.
well. And for yourself, typically also, when somebody goes for their first session, right? So how long is one typical session in Growth Art, and what happens in that particular session?
We actually have 3 programs. So when it comes to Growth Art is where the practical counseling comes in. So when children come to do Growth art will become not the main thing. It will actually be the process of the child talking. And then how art comes in will be, there might be a lesson that I want the child to learn. And then the art process, the artwork might be something that referring to what we talked about earlier. So that would be part of the process. So it's usually about an hour. Growth art would be more on the focus on the process itself. And then the artwork would be a second part. But if I say children who come to do art class, then it will also be about an hour where the children do art class. They learn about drawing, learn about composition, learn about art techniques, learn about color theory. So that would be the art class itself. Yeah.
Very nice. And what are the common misconceptions about art therapy that you encounter?
Yeah. People tend to think that when they come and do art therapy or therapeutic art, it will be like because they need to be good in art. But that's not the case. So doing art therapy or therapeutic art, art need not to be you need not to be good in art in order to embark on art therapy or therapeutic art. Yeah. So that would be the first myth. The second myth would be thinking that art is only meant for people who have mental issues. That's not the case as well. So anyone can be embark on doing art or be into therapeutic art. And therapeutic art is also not only for children, it's also meant for adults as well. So anybody actually can embark on the journey of this therapeutic art. Yeah.
Very nice. I would like to try it for myself one day also, hopefully. And for yourself, maybe, Elfin, beyond artistic skills, right? What other areas of development do you focus on measuring?
Measuring the success, their confidence level, how the child grow in their confidence and grow in their resilience. I have this child who he was very lethargic in his demeanor, very lethargic child, no energy, low energy. Things that he wanted to do is also, everything is no. Or like he keep erasing his work even. And then, and every time that we show him things, he also would just having a negative vibes about him. And interestingly, through the growth, I talked to him about how we needed to do things with passion. We need to put our heart when we do things. We need to put our energy. We need to give our best. So I talked to him in all this area. And after a few sessions, right, he actually come to the studio, running to the studio. And that's the joy. That's the joy that I feel about how he changed. And the mom was sharing with me, after the few sessions with him that I did with him on growth, changing his mindset, shifting his mindset in the way that we do things, in the way that we approach our work, approach our school, approach our studies and whatever not, right? And then how he also at home, waking up in the morning has been a joy now. The parent would say he's no longer very draggy when he wake up in the morning, as well as doing his homework, even in school. So I think that is a success, measuring his confidence level, his resilience, his attitude in doing things.
And I think the beautiful thing is it's not just a short-term success, because mindset, once it's the growth mindset you have, right, it's a lifelong thing as well. So
Yes.
It's beautiful the impact that you're having as well with them. And for yourself, Elfin, how do you create and maintain a safe and supporting space, right, in the studio?
Right. In the studio, our studio is not very big. It's actually quite small. Maybe about 10, 12 seats. We turn on very soft music in the studio. So that when children are painting, it's actually very relaxing, calm their body, and then help them to relax. So I always believe that, after the intense week of study, that they come into the studio, have a time whereby they can do, calm their body and their mind to do painting. So as they paint, they actually can really feel the child enjoying the process. best. So that would be one area that I created the environment for the child. So second part is like being safe, because when the children able to talk, able to review, able to talk about things that is affecting them, we want it to be a safe space for them as well. But of course, I would tell the child, say that in order to help them, I need to also be talking to the parents. So in advance, I tell the child already that I'm going to, whatever that you share with me, in many ways, I will also be able to share with the parents so that we are together to give you the best support. So this is something that I would tell the child in advance first, that so that they know that I am with them, but I want to get their parent on board to help them. Yeah.
Very nice. And talking about parents as well. So what roles do parents play in the therapeutic art process in your studio?
For parents need to come on board firstly. So it's not that, as I shared earlier, it's not that they leave their child with me and then that's it, that you do the magic with my child, all right? It's not that way. So parents come in very handy in a few areas. First one was information. They need to be able to feed me with information about what is actually going through at home and at school with their child. What is the issues that they face with their child? So that would be important information that I needed. Second thing would be how the child normally act and do. The situation that they face at home, things that they are facing in school, what the child do. So these are information that's very important. And then also the child, the behavior of the child, so that I would know things that is happening, and then what angle that I can go in to help. But of course, in my first few sessions, it will be one-to-one. It's like a fact finding, because parent give me information, I cannot use the wholesale information and work with the child. The child themselves need to also be reviewing to me. So I do tell parents as well, say like, when I work with your child, I cannot like straight away first session, I can do everything. Sometimes the child are not so cooperative, or the child might not feel so comfortable to talk yet. Then I have to do different things with the child, be it just painting first, or be it talking, or be it painting and talking, or be it I paint together with the child, or be it playing games with the child. So I have different strategies in having the child to be comfortable with me, gain trust, gain rapport. And that takes time. So parents also need to trust me that, the process is not like 1 lesson, 2 lesson, 3 lesson, I can do it. Sometimes can, sometimes cannot. So that's where that rapport and the trust comes in on both sides, with the child and with the parents.
Of course, makes perfect sense. And what do you find most rewarding about teaching and mentoring children?
It's when I have that connection with the child. I think that it's very heartwarming. Like a child who, after I work with him, and then and I asked him, there was this child who got into big trouble in school. And then after I worked with him for a while, and then he come into the center, because when he first came in, he was very down. His cap was like putting his head very low, doesn't even want to look into my eye because of issue that he faced. But after a few sessions, right, he's brightened up and then more cheerful. So in the session, I was asking him, how has his week been? And then he was just sharing about, stuff like that, things like that. So I just asking him, what has helped? And then he was just saying that he mentioned me that how I helped him. So this is the part that I feel very encouraged, that a child actually feel that I am really helpful. Another one that was helpful was the girl who says that she feel that I'm like home, like I'm a family to her, because she's so comfortable with me. Then, so these are the impact that I feel that and this girl whom she felt like I'm a family, she actually draw a portrait of me and her on this past month during Teachers' Day. So this is very heartwarming to me that the child, the impact that I had on the child's life. Yeah.
Makes sense. Very beautiful as well. And I know you're also always doing new stuff, but tell me a bit more. What new programs or concepts are you currently excited about in your studio?
Yeah, because I've been working with children, like drawing the child's their strength, knowing their inner feeling, draw their rapport with the child, and then able to help the child change and shift their mindset especially. I've always very intrigued into wanting to know the child's behavior, their inner strength. So the next one I'm hoping to bring in was actually child profiling, so that I'll be able to, from the child profiling, that I already know the child, their behavior, their inner strength, strength, their inner weakness, so that from there I'm then able to help them even more. So that would be something that I'm going to look into the child profiling.
Can growth art help my primary school child with ADHD?
Yes, definitely. Growth art can help children with ADHD. So I just give an example about what I help with a child who had ADHD. He is when I first met him, he was 9 years old. Gotten lots of trouble in school. 50% of his time was being suspended because of his behavior. And what happened was when I helped him to basically give a lot of empowerment, empower him with skills, self-management skills, self-control skills, and then let him recognize his disruptive behavior at school. And after working with him for 5 months, can you imagine he was having 50% of his time being suspended from school, and then he gotten a letter from school as well, final warning letter. Police were also involved. But after working with him through the period, he did not only that he didn't get into trouble in school, he got a lot of praises from school as well. And at the end of the year, he even gotten a good progress reward. So this is I'm most encouraged to see the change that has happened to him. Yeah.
Very nice. And I also like to ask you a few more questions, which is, can growth art help my primary school child with autism?
Autism, definitely. I have this girl who, the mom, she's 7 years old. When the mom came in with her, the mom described her as non-communicative, because autistic child, non-communicative, right? All that she does was meltdown. It's a behavior. She just meltdown. And then, so the parents could not really know what is going through in her mind. So what I did in my growth art program is, when she first come, because she's non-communicative, I also do not know how to get her to talk, right? So I used the therapeutic art. Basically, I asked her to draw herself, and then I asked her to draw what's in her mind. So she started drawing, and she draw like she's always thinking about her gaming. She think about swimming. She loves swimming. She think about mommy. She think about art and the things that she likes to do. So that was how she communicated with me. Subsequently, as I progressed with her, and then there was one breakthrough. One breakthrough was when I discovered that it is not that she couldn't talk. It was her low self-esteem. And then because through the art, she was revealing about her low self-esteem by her name, writing her name coming out of the canvas. And then her flower that I asked her to draw was a very small flower with a very huge stem. And the background of the picture was very dark color. So through this piece, I talked to the mom about her low self-esteem, and I said, I'm going to empower her, give her lots of affirmation in my next few lessons. And that was exactly what I did. And then on the third lesson or so, there was a breakthrough. And when she asked me in full sentences, that was the first time, can I start using not my favorite color in our artwork? That I was taken aback. I was flabbergasted basically by her. Then I said, of course, there's no rule to art. You can use any color you liked. And it was after that day, all that she come and talk to me is full sentences after that. So that was like it was very encouraging. And then from then on, she doesn't need to melt down anymore. She's still autistic child. She still has that traits of an autistic child, but no longer need to melt down, because now she know that she can talk, know that she can express, and people can understand her. Yeah. So that was my one success story of an autistic girl.
It's such an amazing transformation as well. And can growth art help my primary school child with behavior issues in school?
Yes. So with this boy, I have this boy who had the big issues that he faced. And then how I helped him was let him recognize why his behavior is so disruptive to the teacher. So I share with him about our goal as a student. I tell him, say, your goal as a student is to make your teacher's job easy. It was a surprise to him. He said, my job was just to do my work, I say, it's to make your teacher's job easy. You do not want your teachers to have a hard time in school. But I help him about how to then overcome his behavior. It's like because of his behavior, he was being put into separated from the class because he was misbehavior, right? And then how I help him to see that whatever that his behavior was, how can he be self-control, self-manage, and then teach him like a control volume, a metaphor of control volume, like he can control his own volume, his own behavior from 5 to 4 to 3 to 1 to 0. And that was how I helped him in this management skill. And then subsequently when he engaged in it, he do some breathing exercises, he was able to have a better self-control. So also gotten not into trouble in school as well. Yeah.
Very nice. I love all the transformation stories coming out. And let's talk a bit about at home. So can growth art help my primary school child with behavior issues in home.
Right. Yes. I have this girl, how I help her, because the grandparents sent her to me because of they cannot handle her. The reason that they tell me was she don't listen. She don't listen to grandparents. She don't listen to parents. She don't listen to teachers. So they had a hard time with her. Like basically they felt like they're pulling their hair every time she talked back at home, and at school. So how I helped this girl was I basically let her that I am on her side. I'm listening to her. So, but I mean, honestly, my first few sessions was also not easy. So what I did was I had a breakthrough with her by doing some fun activities. So not even art, but okay, art. We do scribble art. We do funny art. So basically to break down that barrier that she had with people around her. So after that, right, when I do silly art with her, I do all this fun activity with her, then she see that, coming to my art class was different. It's not just a normal art thing. As well as I also do art with her because I recognize that she has some sensorial deficit. So I do different art activities like glitter. I will do even slime. So I do these different art things to get her understand that, to go with where she is. And then subsequently, right, she's able to review and talk to me more about what is bothering her. So realize that it was actually sibling rivalry. It was actually how her parent communicated with her, which style that she actually prefer. And she preferred the way the father talked to her than the mom. So that was actually a big revelation. And then, and subsequently, when I talked to the parents, talked to the grandparent, how to then engage her in the way that she prefer. And that was how I also helped her in this girl, in the communication with the parents. Yeah.
Very nice. And can growth art help my primary school child with negative self-talk?
Yes. There's this boy, very interesting. He come to my art. For him, right, he enrolled not in my growth art, but to my art class, just a normal art class, doing painting, doing drawing. So through the drawing and painting, right, I actually noticed how he has this negative self-talk. He was only 10 years old, but every time when he made a single mistake, be it drawing or be it coloring or be it painting, he would actually condemn himself. I was very shocked by the way that he literally would scold himself. He said like, you stupid, or he would scold himself like, why you can't not do right? Things like that, a lot of negative self-talk. So in my next session with her, I actually used the metaphor of paint. Because we use acrylic paint. So I share with him, say, acrylic paint is a very forgiving paint. And when we make mistake, we just need to recognize the mistake. And then how we can make it right. So I share with him about when we do painting that is wrong, we just need to go and recognize where it is wrong and then go and dry the paint, dry the area, and come back again to paint over. We can paint over and the mistakes can be covered. The picture will still look nice. So it's a metaphor of how acrylic paint is a very forgiving paint. Don't need to be so hard on yourself. Once you know that you make a mistake, let's move on. Let's see what we can do about it and not dwell into your mistakes that you keep looking at your own mistakes again and again. So that to help him to overcome that negative self-talk and then to be forgiving to himself. So that's how I help the child who engage in negative self-talk.
Very nice. And can growth art help my primary school child with anger management issues?
Yes. I have this boy. This boy is not only a primary school. I also can help child who is in the youth. So for this boy, he's 15 years old. And then in the anger, he has explosive behavior. But as I go deeper in, right, realize that it was actually some trauma that he had when he was young. So when I recognize that, help him to recognize the trauma and to recognize that it is not totally his fault, and then so that he don't put the anger on him. Blame himself, but to recognize that it was something that was actually happened to him before, and then to help him see that part, so that when something that trigger him, it all comes up. That's why he's so angry, and then to help him recognize that. Then I also once again the self-control, self-manage skills of that. The tuning right from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Help him to recognize that breathing exercises, and then to how to overcome. So with that boy was more of assuring that he's actually a very good boy. He's a wonderful boy. So I gave him to recognize that he's actually a wonderful boy, and then to give him the skills, empower him the skills, and then also to let him know that if he continue to have this explosive behavior, it's not going to help him in his relationship. So I say that, I share with him about people need to feel safe with him. His mom got to feel safe with him. His friend got to feel safe with him. I say your future wife, your future children need to be safe with you. So I say if you don't change, people around you won't feel safe. Another part that I shared with him was, I shared with him about how that his behavior, if he don't change, two things will happen. Someone is going to get killed. Someone is going to get jailed. Is that what he wants to happen to him? So to let him recognize that his behavior cannot continue, he need to change. So that's why I did empowerment, recognize that it was not totally his fault because of his child trauma, and help him come up from there, and then empower him with some skills, and then also see the future of what he can have if he change in his behavior.
Very nice. I love that transformation as well. And Elfin, can growth art help my primary school child score better grades in school?
Yes, definitely can. I have this girl who is, after parents spend literally $2,000 of tuition fee every single month to help her in her study. So, but her grades are still failing. There must be a deeper issue. So I hope parents, if I say you hear this, if you feel that your child, after you've done all the things that you did to help your child in the study, but their grades are still failing, there's a deeper issue. And we need to recognize the deeper issue. We need to help the child with the deeper issue. So with this girl, right, it was discouragement. It was labels. It was her feeling, when she first came, she was so downcast. I really cried when I see her, when her describing what is happening. All that she asked me was, she said, why can't I just change? She just wanted to change to able to take away all these failing grades that she's going through. But as she's describing more and more, right, it was a deeper issue of labels from her parents, labels from her teacher, labels from her friend that she cannot let go. So these labels are weighing her down. And then when her results are no good, plus all these labels, it didn't help. It was just very heavy. She's just having all these heavy emotions that she's carrying with her. And then the second thing that as she reviewed further, right, was actually bullies. Bullies that she felt that because she was no good in her study, and then facing bullies in school, facing not acceptance, so rejection, abandonment, all this come in. So through the Growth Up program, I actually help her to remove these labels through forgiveness. Like she need to forgive people, forgive her friends, forgive her teachers, forgive her parents, not because they need the forgiveness, but she need the forgiveness so that she can carry on. And then I teach her forgiveness, teach her letting go of those labels, and then so that she can be free. And that's how I help her in the first part. Second part that I help her was to recognize why her grades are failing. Then realize that there was a deeper part of her foundation. Her foundation needed to be strengthened again. So that was what I did. So we go deeper about when did she start feeling that her study was not doing well, the foundation part. It was actually 2 years because she's already primary 5. And she feel like from primary 3 onwards, she could not understand her subject as well. So that was what I did. And I talked to the parents, say, during the school holiday, for her teachers, her tutor, to help her in her foundation. Don't chase after curriculum basically, but to go into her foundation. I'm glad the parent actually trusts me, and then they really talk to the tutor. So for the 2 months or 6 weeks of school holiday, right, they just go deep into primary 3 foundation, primary 4 foundation, primary 5 foundation. And when I meet the girl again in January after the school holiday, she looks so much more happier. And then she even can tell me, say, 2 things that she feel right now. She feel happy and she feel proud of herself. I thought that was a nice transformation, that from so discouraged to a part where she feel confident, and then that the resilience that she had. So that's how I feel that I'm able to help the child who also are not doing well in their studies.
Very nice. Amazing transformation as well that you have. And also, can growth art help my primary school child with low self-confidence?
I have this boy who come in, he is very discouraged in his study, right? And then it was basically more of, he actually is a very, very hardworking boy, but facing the PSLE, and then with schools tend to, like in their final year, they tend to give them very hard questions. I don't know, for some reason, maybe give them to prepare them with the goal of wanting to prepare them better, right? But they actually discouraged the child. So he was very, very low self-esteem. He felt like he used to be doing well all this while, but then suddenly he why can't he do questions and the results are getting nearing to the fail, or results are no good. So you're just wondering also why. And then and what I did with him was to help him calm his body firstly, calm down and then to assure him that he's actually a very hardworking boy. He didn't do anything wrong. It's not that his fault, but schools sometimes tend to do that way. So to let him see that, sometimes school purposely do that to empower them, to actually to prepare them more, not because he is a weak student. So that was some part that I want him to recognize. The other part that we happened to recognize was to empower him that, or rather to affirm him that he is actually a very hardworking boy, that we are very proud of his heart. He is of the effort that he made all this while. So with that, right, and then interestingly, because of the empowerment, of that encouragement, of the affirmation that I given him, tell him that I'm proud of the effort that he been doing all this while. And then I share with the parent that I want the mom to also give him more affirmation, to hear from the mom himself that the mom is very proud of him. And then 2 lessons later, he actually come in with lots more confident. And then in the card that we pick up, because of coaching card, right? Then he was picking out, say like he feel that he has overcome the hard topic before. Like, because he's a very hardworking boy, so he can in time to come. So he feel like he's already overcome those few topics that he was having trouble before, and he feel confident about them now. And then so in the card they pick up, right, was like he said he was very small before, and like how he had grown bigger because he feel more successful, feel more confident. I thought that was a very wonderful expression that he did. And then, but also through the same lesson, it's very interesting. He picked up another card that his mom keep asking him to do his homework. In the card, his expression was like, what? He showed this kind of expression in the card, So we had a good laugh through the session. And that was also the part that I tell the mom that give more affirmation, not just keep asking him to do his homework. So that he need time for himself. He needs space to play game as well. Because he's a very hardworking boy, so assure the mom that he can pace his study. Just trust his pace. Yeah, so that's what I did with the boy. Yeah.
Very nice, amazing.
In helping him is his confidence level. Yeah.
Amazing transformation stories that we have shared, and we are nearing to the end of it, Elfin, as well. Last few questions that I have for you, Elfin, is: can growth art help adults with childhood trauma?
Right. Yes, I have this girl. So not so much of a child trauma, but more of because she's she is a high performing, high achiever. She already done so much in her life as a student, basically win awards. Anything that she does, she basically did well. And then the trauma comes in, didn't reveal until much later, whereby it's a burnout because of a punishing schedule as a young girl. Her schedule was going around training, competition, training, competition, because she's so involved in gymnastics and ballet all her years in her school years until when she was 16. After so many years of her punishing schedule, there was a burnout. So what I did was, in the session with her, it was revealed that she feels she was so detached from the world. The world out there was so colorful, but in the pictures that she drew herself a very small girl, and the girl was very dull color. So she was sharing about how she feel very detached from the world. The world out there is very colorful, but she's very detached. It was very painful time. And then through that session, I assure her of her basically acknowledge her being a very hardworking girl, her hard work, her effort, her achievement, wonderful achievement. To her achievement means nothing, but everybody was praising her. Was such a achievement that she had done, right? And then what I did was I asking her to open up her heart and her mind right now, to start looking at the things that the world out there she says is very colorful. What is it that she want to learn? What is it that she want to learn from? Basically open her mind and her heart. So basically encourage her to start doing the things that she like to do. So from that lesson, and then she go on to start learning dance, not the ballet dance or the gym dance, but also do Latin dance, a more fun dance. So that's what she start to embark on. And then second thing that embark on was learning to do driving. So to start basically open her mind, her world of what the world out there can offer her. Yeah, so that's why I help this adult. Yeah.
Very nice, and some amazing stories that are coming out. And for yourself, Elfin, what is your long-term vision for START Studio?
Long-term vision, I really want to see START Studio to be a place where we're not just only at art school, but we are able to help children in their emotional well-being. So to empower, I really love to be able to empower more parents and educator, teachers, to recognize this part of the child, not just only prepare them in academic, but this emotional well-being of the child, how then to draw the child out, how to empower them, how to give them lots more affirmation, how to build them up, how to build their growth mindset, and empower them to be to grow up to be kind, responsible adult. So I really want to see stART Studio that way, whereby we are able to empower, we're able to educate more parents and educator who work with child together, right? So I hope to be able to do that lah. Long-term vision for stART Studio is to work also with parents and educator.
Elfin, what are the 3 programs that you have at stART Studio?
Right. stART Studio, we have 3 programs. One program is called the Growth Art. That is where I use TAP for Success, shortcut for Therapeutic Art Growth for Success. TAP for Success is the Growth Art program where I use art of parenting, I use growth mindset, and then therapeutic art to help children in their resilience and confidence. The second program that we have is the Skills in Art, which is the painting, normal painting class, helping children in their drawing, in their painting, engage them in the art skills. But Skills in Art, what I hope to do was to actually nurture the child in their passion in art. Not just only like I'm good in art, but passion. They are interested in art. The art is fun. Art is interesting. So that there's an inner motivation in the child to love art. So I always tell parents, say that, when doing Skills in Art, we want the child to be able to find joy in doing art. The third program that we had is called Drop-in Art. This Drop-in Art is really more for parents, convenient for parents, because this Drop-in Art, which means parent can bring their child and during the free time, be it child free time or parent free time. So child free time is like, so they engage in meaningful activities, not just only play games. They can be with us for 1 hour to do fun activities, painting on canvas, painting on tote bag, painting on t-shirt, painting on pebbles, or even coin bank figurines. So engage in activity like this to help the child. So we have parents coming in, be it like they are doing marketing, then the child coming to do art, or the parent want to have some me time. The parent to have some coffee time, then they bring the child to do art with us. Or during school holidays, or during after intense school week, that the child can come in to do some fun activities to relax their body and to calm their body. We also have parents like older siblings having tuition, and the younger ones come in to do art with us. So this is called the Drop-in Art. Yeah, so we have 3 programs: Growth Art, Skills in Art, and the Drop-in Art.
Very nice. And what is the tagline for stART Studio?
Right. The tagline, I have a very wonderful tagline. It was actually put together with my my business coach, Jess Lai. So Jess Lai actually helped me in the fundamental block of my business. And then when we come together to come to the program, so we come up with the tagline called Crafting Confidence, One Brushstroke at a Time. So he actually shared that of all the businesses that he built, right, this tagline is the best tagline he had that we had so far. So yes, so our tagline is Crafting Confidence, One Brushstroke at a Time, whereby at one brushstroke, where we build the child, helping them to craft their confidence. Yeah.
Very nice. I love the tagline as well. And so, Elfin, where are you located and how is the crowd there?
Right. We are located at Bukit Timah Plaza at basement 101, B106. So the crowd, there are actually lots of families at Bukit Timah Plaza because of the NTUC. We have 24 hours NTUC there. Plus, there's lots of tuition enrichment schools at the area as well. So I see a lot of families at our place in the mall. That parents bring the children in the area, and then we have parents coming in to do art with us. And there's also lots of wonderful cafes at the area too. Famous Korean cafe. There's also a beef area. So it's a nice place to hang out.
Very nice. And my last question for you, Elfin, which is very important as well. Can you tell us about the trial class at stART Studio and what happens during a trial class?
Yes, we have trial class. We actually allow parents first time to do trial class with us, $38 per session to do a trial class with us. But in the first trial class, right, it will be it will be a period whereby I just know to know the child. So it'll just be normal painting class, but for me to build rapport with the child and then to understand where the child is at, the parent give information to me as well. So for growth art, if let's say the first child class, it tend to be art class, but growth art is when parent wants help for their child. So then they will share with me some information, and then I work with the child. So child class will be for the art class, but then when parent want growth art, then they will share with me that they want help in those areas, for their child's emotional well-being.
Very nice. Amazing. And that was episode 58 with Elfin Ng, the founder of stART Studio. And she shared so many amazing stories. She said so much amazing transformation. Elfin, is there any other things that I should have asked you but didn't ask? Or do you feel we really covered everything already?
Thank you so much. I think you have covered all. Really appreciate what you have done in the podcast today.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Elfin. And episode 58 is a wrap. I'll see you all real soon for episode 59. Bye-bye, everybody.